Julio Rosas is with us. He is a Blaze Media national correspondent. He was actually standing with the protesters yesterday, not protesting, but I'll bet he was parading. He should be arrested. But he was with the protesters, the Hamas protesters, who were absolutely vile outside of Union Station, where they took down the American flags, replaced them with Palestinian flags, and then defaced all of our monuments there at Union Station, saying Hamas is coming, which I really like. I like that warning. I don't think I needed it, but I like that warning. Julio's with us now to tell us what it was like in the crowd. Hi, Julio.
Hey, Glenn. Thanks for having me.
You bet. So what did you see that surprised you, and what did it feel like?
Well, nothing surprised me. I mean, the whole reason why we were willing to, Blaze was willing to send me is because I told them, I said, this is going to get out of hand because this is not Biden, this is not Harris, this is Benjamin Netanyahu speaking to Congress. I mean, this is their guy that they hate the most. He is in town, and so this is going to be their only shot to make their impact in terms of disruption and rioting. And so I'm not surprised at all that they are no longer hiding their Hamas support. And like you said, I mean, we've all known this for a while, but now that they're really letting the masks slip just because the war has continued in Gaza and there has been no ceasefire, there has been no, Israel hasn't ceased to exist. So that they're just getting madder and madder as the months have gone on. But it was crazy. Them tearing down the American flags outside Union Station, again, is not surprising. They've done that. Similar groups have done that all across the country. To the credit of the U.S. Park Police, they did move in to stop one of them, and I filmed that for Blaze Media.
I have to tell you, I watched it. Hang on just a second. Can we play that video? If you happen to be watching the Blaze right now, we'll play the video, and I'll describe what's happening. But you're not seeing this anywhere. You're seeing the depressing part of defacing and an angry crowd and the Palestinian flags going up. But you don't see what the U.S. Park Police did. And they were greatly outnumbered. And they go right into the crowd in, what was there, probably 10 of them, Julio?
Just about, yeah. Unfortunately, the Park Police, like other law enforcement agencies, they are severely understaffed, and that's something that their union has been vocal about for a very long time. And so that's why, they were able to make the arrest, they were able to save the flag, but they weren't able to prevent further destruction to the monuments or to the other flags, and that's just because they didn't have the manpower to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're $35 trillion in debt. The cupboards are bare, We're spending $4 trillion, but we don't have the money for extra law enforcement. The other picture you took, and I don't know how you got in there to take this, but the picture that you took of them folding the flag inside the office, they took the flag back and folded it up and preserved it. That's remarkable. Yeah, and that is they take that very seriously. I mean, the Park Police, they protect the National Mall, they protect the monuments in New York and San Francisco as well, and they take their job seriously because they protect these highly trafficked tourist areas, things that are, when people say the United States, they automatically think of the National Mall, all these monuments and stuff. So They try their best in these situations to mitigate and prevent the destruction from happening. But like I said, unfortunately, they don't have the manpower to completely secure these areas when there's that many rioters in the area. And this is the unfortunate consequences of a post-George Floyd world. They're not really allowed to because the police command and the general, higher level in terms of politicians, their approach is now, well, the police have to de-escalate, and what that is just fancy for is the police just have to leave the area and not engage and just let people do what they want. That's basically what they're told to do. But obviously, when they're able to take action, that they still will try their best to do that. So can you compare this? I mean, you weren't at January 6th, but can you compare the tone of the crowd and the things that were happening at all? Did it at all resemble January 6th?
Actually, I did cover January 6th. I was there that day. I made it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that.
No, it's all good. It was quite the day. But no, so I mean, I can kind of compare the two. So, I mean, obviously the big difference between January 6th and July 24th, J24, is that the authorities actually prepared this time. They brought in police from New York. They brought in police from Maryland. They brought in extra law enforcement. They actually secured the perimeter of the Capitol complex, which didn't happen January 6th. And I've always maintained that, yes, it was a riot, but it was the most preventable riot of that season. Political violence had been something we had been experiencing for months prior to January 6th. And so I don't know why. So it is my belief that they allowed it to happen by not adequately preparing for it. But so that's why yesterday, J24, they didn't get close to the Capitol building. They tried, and that's why within the first 5 minutes of the march, they tried to push their way through a police line, and that's why police had to use pepper spray to get them to stop. But again, the rhetoric is, I mean, openly praising terrorist groups and making it known by defacing monuments. I mean, that is something that has been happening for a long time. I've been telling Congress that they need to take this seriously. And, as typical DC, they don't really start to get going unless it happens in their backyard. So there are kind of things happening now where it's like, okay, hey, we should probably focus on the street protesters, because there's been a lot of focus on the college campuses, and I'm not saying that's not important, but the street protests have been happening since October 8th of last year, and they have caused massive amounts of damage, a lot of violence, and that's something that needs to be looked at the federal level. So this was obviously not nearly as bad in terms of the Capitol building being breached, because that didn't happen. But again, that's just because they actually prepared for it. And it's sad that if there's going to be a major protest, we have to wall up the White House, or we have to wall up the Capitol building, or we have to wall up the Supreme Court. And 9 times out of 10, it's because of the far left.
Are you going to share the pictures of the cleanup that you took this morning? Have you shared them already, or have I been misinformed? I understood that you were there taking pictures this morning of the cleanup, or maybe not.
No, my flight was early this morning, so unfortunately I wasn't able to do that. Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, I hear that they were out scrubbing the monuments and cleaning up, all the aftermath. Did anybody go to jail?
So I was told by Park Police that at least 10 people were arrested, and that was for destruction of government property, for defacing and resisting arrest, fighting.
Yes.
But true to the DC area form, a lot of them were quickly released. The Palestinian groups were posting videos showing their quote unquote comrades being released within hours. So that's another reason why police are reluctant to go out of their way to put themselves in harm's way, because they know that even if they do arrest people for not minor offenses in these liberal jurisdictions, they're just going to be the arrestees are just going to be let back out.
Julio, thank you so much. Julio Rosas, you can find his personal Substack, mostlypeaceful.live. And this was mostly peaceful yesterday, I'm sure it was. And you can also find his reports on Blaze Media and theblaze.com. Thanks, Julio. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Oh, man. It's fascinating to listen to Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday talking about the protesters and giving his perspective on them. We're a little distracted as he comes to town, and so it was great that he had a chance to address Congress, though.
Yeah, I liked his one line. Let me see if we have that.
Yeah,
you know
what
line I'm talking about?
It's 40.
Yeah, which one is it?
Cut 41 from Pat saw it. Cut 41, Netanyahu.
Some of these protesters hold up signs proclaiming gays for Gaza. They might as well hold up signs saying chickens for KFC.
Yep.
It is so remarkably stupid. Man, these people on the left are just dumb as a box of rocks. They really are. I'd like to, you know what? if they want to go over and march in solidarity on the streets, with Gaza, you just let me know. I will pay your airfare so you can take your rainbow flags and your signs, gays for Gaza, and you go ahead and march and see how that works out for you.
Make sure you're wearing just what you wear in the gay pride parades, because that'll help a lot.
Yes.
They're going to love that. They'll appreciate that.
They love that. Mm-hmm.